good morning. If it's your first time joining us, welcome to I Just Sparks Made. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you and welcome back. So today we're going to be doing a simple DIY video of this wrap blouse. Yeah, so it was what I paired with the flare skirts with side pockets. So let's just get straight to it. It's an easy video, very easy video. I kind of fast forward most of the sewing aspects because I know we are all tailors already, so just watch and give a thumbs up, subscribe, thank you. So first off, I'll be working with a measurement of shoulder 8, bust 36 and waist 30. Yes, so the normal drill on how to get your basic body's measurements. If you don't know, you can check one of my videos. I posted a tutorial on it. So I went ahead to mark the shoulder and then the standard neck measurement, which is 3, and then the shoulder. Then I came down by 1 inch to get the shoulder slope, and I went ahead to do my bust divided by 6 plus 1.5 to get my armhole line, which is what I'm drawing now. So this is the armhole line. Then after doing this, I went ahead to bring down my shoulder points down here so I can get a straight line and connect to my shoulder. Yeah, so I did that. And then went ahead to mark my bust measurements, which is 9. I put 9. And then I added my 1 inch allowance. Now for this wrap blouse, 1 yard can actually make it 1 yard. If you don't want to do a very, very, very busy sleeve, since it's a crop top, 1 yard is good to go. Or you can freestyle maybe 1.5 yard. Depends on the kind of sleeves that you're working with. So the length of this wrap blouse, I'm using 19.5, so that by the time I'm done, I'll be able to work with, like, by the time I do my hemming, like, I've added the hemming allowance and everything to this piece, so at least I'll be left with 17. So that's why. So you can use 20, you can use 21. It depends. If you don't want, the person doesn't like revealing tummy and the rest, you can just use what will work. So now also, please also remember to add your dart allowance to the waist. I don't know if I added it, but I'm only saying 1 inch extra allowance here, but I ended up putting a dart on the back side. It just gives the back that flat look that we are looking for. So remember to add your dart allowance to your blouse. But the dart allowance it only applies to the back of the dress, not the back of the blouse, not to the front. Yeah, so I went ahead to mark out my neck. I used 3 inches by 1 inch depth. Now I didn't add any extra allowance because when I turn it in, it would fall on to take out 1/2 inch from this already made neck. So now this is the whole cocoa of the whole pattern now. So I'm just simply going to just get like a slanted shape down and then come in from the side of this waist by 3. Now I did not want to waste any pattern paper, so I just simply use the fabric. Yeah, so that's why I said it's a DIY. Like, it's just a do it yourself. You can just use any fabric at home and just run it. So now I went ahead to pin the choke. I just used the back pattern now to get a pattern that I'll use and cut the front pattern. You get? Are we following? So after that, I just pinned it all around. Follow the V shape that I created for my overlap. That's my wrap overlap. Anyone, I use it I pinned it all the way down. So now if you want to make this process easy without having to do all this pin, you can do this, then place it on you can use a paper. Then when you now get your shape, you cut the paper out. It depends on you. I just did a rush video so that I could just put this out there. So it's not a serious style because I know we can maneuver this one. So I went ahead to place it on another fabric, which is folded into two. Remember, it's a wrap, so it has two sides. Then I added half an inch all the way except the shoulder line. I didn't add half an inch to the shoulder line. I just connected it back straight. Now, the reason I added half an inch to this other part is because I needed a sewing allowance there. So that was why I added that half an inch over there. Yeah, so I'll go ahead and cut. So this is what it looks like after cutting. I'm going to cut the armpits out and the sides as well. Yeah, so this is what we have here. So I'll just go ahead and unpin my back. Unpin. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. It doesn't cost anything to subscribe. Do well to like, do well to leave a comment. Let me know what you would like me to post on here. I'll be checking. If it's something I can, pull up, I will do it. So I went ahead to place my front now on another part of the fabric so that I can cut out my facing. Now it's optional. You can just use a bias and close your facing if you want, but I actually cut out a facing for this one so that the belt will be well covered. Like I just needed that neat finish. So I went ahead to create my facing, and then after getting the V shape of the wrap blouse, I now added 2.5 inch to the sides, so that by the time I weave the edges, I would be left with 2 inches and it will be neat and flat. Okay, so I cut out. So after that, this is what it looks like. Yeah, so this is what we have. We have the facing. So I'll go ahead and cut the facing for the back blouse. Go ahead and cut my facing for the back blouse. Okay, so this is what we have here. This is what we have here. So I went ahead to still mark my 2.5 inch for my facing, and then I cut out. So voila. Next thing, I would go ahead and cut my it's what they call it, the ropes, be the belts. Yeah, that's a better word. I'll go ahead and cut the belts for my wrap. So I'll be using, you can use a 4 inch, that's 4 inch folded, so that at the end of the day when you're done sewing, you have about 1.5 inch band. But you can use 36 on both sides, like the length. You can use 36 for each of the belts. You can use 36 for the length of your belt. Depends on the person that you're working with. Just check the waist. Like I worked with my client's waist is 30. I ended up using 36 on each sides of the belt, then by 4 inch, so that when you're done sewing it round, you can get like 1.5 inch as the final belt. So it depends on how big or how small you want your belt to be. Okay, and then I worked with 18 inches. Okay, I think 36 inches. So folded into 4, I was having 18 on the width. So by 20, that was what I used for my sleeves measurement. So you can freestyle. You can do a different sleeves, but this is like a puff sleeves with a pleat on the shoulder area. So I went ahead to cut. This is my 18 inches, my 36. So I just used a yard length to cut the sleeves. So 18 inches by 21, I think 20 or 19. Anyone will work. So this includes both the hemming allowance and then the joining allowance, as the sewing allowance. Yeah, so this is what it looks like. So now to the sewing, I sort of did a rush video for the sewing aspect, because I know a lot of us who already must have figured out how to sew this. But then for those that maybe are just beginning their sewing career, let me just do a quick one for you. So I went ahead to sew in my facing. I turned the neck, notched, and then matched on it. Then I prepared my belts, and then I had to fix in the belt to the sides. Remember I told you I fixed that at the back. Yeah, so this is the that. So now for the belt, I had to pin it coming up from the edge by 1 inch. Now that 1 inch space is my hemming allowance. You understand? That 1 inch space is my hemming allowance. So you push your belt. Your belt is not starting at the exact end of your blouse. It's going to come up a bit. So that means that if I'm using 1.5 inch for the hemming allowance, I'm going to come up by 1.5 inch. You get the drill, right? Okay, so this is what it looks like. So I'll go ahead and do it for the second part. Notice I came up by 1 inch, please. Okay, so did the same thing I did to the other one. Please don't forget to like my posts. Don't forget to share with your friends. If you have any friend that's struggling with making a wrap blouse, I mean, like, this is a very easy one. So now on one side, while I stitch, I'm going to leave while coming up. Remember, on the sides when you're sewing, you're also going to come up by 1 inch. Then you now leave up the 1 inch. You're going to leave about 1.5 inch or 1 inch space for where your belt is going to pass. So there's going to be a small hole on only one side of your blouse. Yes, so I left that hole on this blouse, just a little space. Please, if you're leaving that little space, remember that when you leave it, you're going to still stitch coming up by 1 inch up. Okay, so that's what I did here. I went ahead to bend, hem the down parts of my blouse. So basically, this is everything for the blouse. This is what it should look like when you're done. Yeah, so next thing I'm going to do is joining the shoulders. I join the shoulders and went ahead to sew my sleeves. So for my sleeves, I joined the sides of the sleeves. After joining the sides of the sleeves, I went ahead to fixing my elastic. So fixing in my elastic, I created, I think from my shoulder, I created about 3 inch down. That's the allowance I left for the pleats, for the puff pleats that I did for the shoulder. Okay, please, if it's your first time joining and you've learned a tip or two on this video, please do well to leave a comment in the comment section. I really appreciate. Share with your friends, and most importantly, please do well to subscribe to my channel. I'll be so delighted to have you in my space. Yeah, thank you. So I went ahead to join my elastic and fix it in my sleeves. So this is what I did here. Okay, before I actually fix the sleeves, I had to check if the elastic wouldn't be too tight. I used 10-inch elastic here. I think around sleeve was 12. I used 10-inch. I don't want it to give her this elastic mark, so I was really being careful. And then at the same time, you don't want your elastic to be loose, you don't want your elastic to be loose, and you don't want it to be too tight. So I used, I think, 10 inches. Though the 10 inches included plus the sewing allowance. That's what I used here. And then when I was done, I kind of used my hand because of the way I sewed in my elastic. It was a bit expanded, so I used my hand to shrink it back in. So maybe it could be a useful tip. I don't know. So after that, I went to do the same thing to the second sleeves. Did the same thing to the second sleeves. Okay. And this is what it looks like. So the sleeves is ready, so I'll go ahead and attach it to my blouse, the shoulder of my blouse, the armpit of my blouse. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Remember, it is free. Like, it is very, very free. It's very free to just hit the subscribe button, so that then you can also hit the notification bell, so that you can get a notification when I make a new video. Thank you. So yeah, our blouse is already giving, right? So this is what the final look looks like. And then I went ahead, I used the hemming gum to close it up round the neck. And this is what we have here. Yeah, this is the finished look. So now this method can work on any fabric, wrapper or crepe, or if you just want to do a simple wrap blouse, this method can work. Thank you for watching. Bye.